Here is an actual interview. This is a real person. This person votes. She may be somebody's grandma who was interviewed at a MAGA rally over the weekend, talking about the role that Space Force is going to play in the presidential election. And by the way, this would be big if true. So let's play this audio of this interview.
The election, I believe, was stolen, but we know that. Space Force has it all. Trump has all the information. It's going to be overturned.
What do you think Space Force has?
Space Force is a military branch of the, just like the Army, all the military. And they literally, walk up here. They literally, the night of the election, they literally watched the election be stolen. They know, they watermarked the ballots. They know exactly what happened with every ballot. They know what fake ballots, all right? They knew the election switches. They know what countries were involved. They followed the money. They know what every politician that's been paid off.
They have satellites.
They know there was 269,000 sealed indictments, but I think it might even be up to 500,000 sealed indictments.
Well, that's big.
And I believe that we're going to have an emergency broadcast, and the military is going to come in with martial law. Oh. And we are going to be shown 8 hours on, 8 hours off of videos for 7 days, the world, and they're going to be showing us taped tribunals, taped confessions.
She's looking forward to this.
The world is going to be awakened to what's really going on with the deep state.
Wow. I don't know. So maybe we ought to change our plans. Just don't make any long-term plans, Will, because this woman is looking forward to all of that. There's a little bit of QAnon there, but part of it is, and I'm sorry to keep coming back to this. This is probably somebody's mom or grandma. So probably in her daily life, she, bakes casseroles for neighbors who go through things, right? She buys tricycles for her kids, and yet. There she is, very matter-of-factly explaining to this interviewer, Space Force knows everything. And Space Force, and you're looking around going, okay, no, Space Force, because it's got satellites, knows all this stuff. And also somehow, she didn't quite explain how they watermark the ballots. But there's going to be hundreds of thousands of indictments.
Charlie, there's Space Force. Of course they watermark ballots. That's what Space Force... among other things, this lady has a lot of faith in lawyers. 500,000 indictments. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine the production on that.
Televised.
Right.
8 hours on, 8 hours off, televised tribunals. Did you say we'll be forced to watch them?
We can, right? She's talking about the countries that are involved. I guess that's Hugo Chavez. I'm not sure who else is in on that. But,
there were some Italian satellites.
The Italians, that's right.
Okay, so... have I made the point that you are not the crazy ones? But I guess let's just set this aside for a future conversation, Will, about the sort of the nature of insanity and how widespread it is, because insanity can be overused. But I have to tell you, there are a lot of really, really crazy people out there. I mean, can we stipulate that? And I'm not talking about people who are uninformed or even the folks who basically think that, just string together bumper sticker cliches, talking points, and think they're engaging in some sort of intelligent. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people who believe really seriously batshit crazy things, and they vote, and they get elected, and they determine the future of our government. I'm afraid. I mean, no, look, they may not be the people who actually determine, but as we just get into this conversation, kind of remember. When we say that there are politicians who are really afraid of the base. Really?
Okay. All right. I have a couple of serious points. And
please.
But I got a pony. I got a pony for you. Actually, you already gave me the pony. So the serious points are this lady we just heard talking about tribunals. She says the military is going to come in with martial law. There's going to be tribunals and taped confessions. And this is her idea of a rescue operation, right?
It's Christmas.
Right. And so the serious point is this is how authoritarianism comes to America in the name of democracy, right? The people's votes were stolen.
She's nuts. I mean, let's not get too serious, okay? I mean, this woman is
okay, but
nuts.
let's also she's nuts. She's nuts. But in addition to this crazy lady, there was a discussion in the White House, right? Before Donald Trump left, Mike Flynn and the others, right, talking about exactly this: the military rerunning
the Italian space satellites, right?
Right. So these crazy people discussed this in the White House with the president, and he was one of them, right? Okay, so that's the serious one. The pony, of course, Charlie, is the casserole, right? Because the people who are spouting this garbage, they are baking casseroles, and they're perfectly functional in other parts of their life. So somehow people can be absolutely nuts and say this crazy stuff, and then go about their daily lives as moms and grandmas. I'm
not sure that is as reassuring as you think it is. You know, that basically saying, okay, so yes, there are zombies, but most of the time you can't tell the zombies. They walk among us. I'm just not sure that makes my day. But to your point about I'm kind of brushing her off as nuts, but you make the point that okay, we can say this woman is nuts, but I will see you and raise you a Mike Lindell, Mr. My Pillow guy, who was at the White House. Mike Flynn, who was a general and was the national security advisor. Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, the Kraken. I mean, so the problem is that we have this line between completely insane and completely corrupt and completely seditious is kind of blurry, isn't it? I mean, that's the moment we're in. So.
It is. Can I come back to your point about the base, that these politicians are following the base and the craziness of it? So this happened on Saturday in New Hampshire. Mike Pence is up there. Yes. And there's another one of these casserole ladies, right? She gets up and she says to him, how are you going to get elected? He's like, how am I going to get elected? She says, because after the vote, she says, this is a quote, that's where it all goes away. Somebody comes along and just takes a bunch and puts it in the back of a truck and takes it away. And what does Mike Pence say? Does Mike Pence say, I'm sorry, ma'am, no, that doesn't happen. Elections are actually free and fair in this country? No, Mike Pence says, yeah, I hear you. Well, and he starts going into his thing. My secret weapon is New Hampshire. So Mike Pence knows this lady is nuts. And he doesn't correct her because he's afraid to correct her. And this is what's happening.
Or he's exhausted. Okay, yeah. I'm not. Is at a certain point you just kind of roll your eyes and go, yeah. Meanwhile, back in the real world.